Food handler exam practice questions. Hot TCS foods must be held at a temperature of at least 135 degrees Fahrenheit, 57 degrees Celsius. A cutting board is scratched and chipped. What should the food handler do? Set it aside and tell the manager. When checking a food's temperature, a food handler should monitor the thermometer until the reading. Stay steady. A food handler has finished grilling a chicken breast for a sandwich. What should the food handler do before touching the chicken, lettuce, tomato, and bun? Wash hands and put on new gloves. Eating soup that has been temperature abused can result in foodborne illnesses. Chopping lettuce on the same cutting board used for slicing raw beef is an example of cross-contamination. A cook uses a cleaning towel to wipe up spills on the counter. When the cook is not using the towel, where should it be stored? In sanitizer solution. Which activity is an example of poor personal hygiene? Washing dishes without a hair covering. Which item must be applied over a bandage on a food handler's finger? Single-use glove. How should frozen poultry be thawed? Placed in a sink under running water at 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius, or lower until thawed. What symptom must be reported to a manager? Jaundice. When using the FIFO method correctly, the food stored in the front should be the food that was received first. A food handler notices a nest made of scraps of paper and grass on the floor near the food storage area. What should the food handler do? Tell the manager. Which is the correct order for hand washing? Wet hands and arms, apply soap, scrub hands and arms, rinse, and dry. After TCS food has reached 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius, in a microwave oven, the food should be left to stand covered for 2 minutes before serving. When must food contact surfaces be cleaned and sanitized? After being interrupted during task. What food items need time and temperature control for safety? Cut tomatoes. Food handlers may wear nail polish if the polish is professionally applied on manicured, short nails. It is important to cook food to high enough temperatures so that pathogens are reduced and illness is prevented. Cross-contamination could be caused by carrying drinking glasses by their rims. Pathogens grow well between which temperatures? 41 degrees Fahrenheit and 135 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 degrees Celsius and 57 degrees Celsius. A customer at a table of 4 has allergy. The server should tell the customer how each dish is made. A food handler notices that a cutting surface has food bits dried onto it and runs it through the dishwasher. This is an example of cleaning and sanitizing surfaces the right way, which must be cleaned and rinsed but not sanitized. Walls. How should a thermometer be dried after washing, rinsing, and sanitizing it? By air drying it. Ready to eat TCS food must be marked with the date by which it must be sold, eaten, or thrown out if it will be held for longer than how many hours? 24. 1. The water in the wash sink of a 3-compartment sink must be at least what temperature? 110 F, 43 degrees Celsius. How can an operation prevent cross-contamination in self-service areas? Place food under sneeze guards. Surfaces that touch food are called food contact surfaces. Which item does not have a food contact surface? Mop bucket. A bar glass breaks when a food handler is using it to scoop ice. A piece of glass is later found in a customer's beverage. What type of contamination is this? Physical. A food handler, in a hurry to refill a customer's drink, cannot find the ice scoop. To prevent cross-contamination, what should the food handler do? Use a clean glass to scoop the ice. What is the proper cooking temperature for barbecued chicken that is being prepared at an outdoor event? 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius. When should hand antiseptics be used? After hand washing. What should be done with dishware before washing it in a dishwasher? Scrape or rinse it. Which steps are in the correct order for cleaning and sanitizing? Scrape, wash, rinse, sanitize, air, dry. What is the first step in setting up a 3-compartment sink? Clean and sanitize each sink and all work surfaces. Hands should be dried with a single-use paper towel. Sanitizers work best when the items are sanitized for the right amount of time. A customer orders a ham sandwich with lettuce, tomatoes, and mustard on whole wheat bread. Which food in the sandwich is considered a common food allergen? Wheat bread. What jewelry can food handlers wear while working? Plain metal ring. When starting a new task, what is the correct way to use gloves? Wash hands before putting them on. Food handlers who scrub their hands and arms with soap for how many seconds have washed their hands correctly? 13. A foodborne illness is a disease that is transmitted to people through food. Removing an apron before using the restroom is an example of practicing good personal hygiene. Examples of biological hazards include parasites, fungi, bacteria, and viruses. Food should be stored at least which distance from the floor? 6 in, 15 centimeters. Which food is stored correctly? Boxes of rice stored 8 inches, 20 centimeters, off the floor, away from the wall. What is the proper method for transporting food for off-site service? Deliver the food in insulated, food-grade containers. Where in an operation can a food handler eat and drink? Designated area.